Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Crypto Update. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe as well as click on the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. Bitcoin and Ripple are two digital assets that one often sees in cryptocurrency and technology news. This article offers a comprehensive comparison between Bitcoin and Ripple, touching on their histories, use cases, underlying technologies, supply mechanisms, security, regulatory considerations and adoption. By the end of the article you should have enough information to continue your research to determine whether either of them are worthy of your investment. Bitcoin and Ripple are both digital assets in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, but beyond that, they could not be more different. The following sections provide detailed insights into each asset's background and mission. Bitcoin functions as a decentralized digital currency and store of value, letting any individual transact without relying on a bank. Its robust security, predictable supply and absence of counterparty risk have led to its recognition as a potential international settlement layer for banks and global trade. XRP was marketed as a solution for fast, low-cost cross-border payments. However, with Bitcoin's growing acceptance in the banking sector and its potential to serve as a global settlement layer, XRP's distinct use case has become less clear. Moreover, Ripple Labs periodically sells XRP on the open market to fund its operations. This has led many investors to point out that XRP has yet to prove its utility in the real world. The underlying technologies and consensus mechanisms of BTC and XRP differ sharply, leading to very different models for operation, security, and decentralization. Bitcoin is a proof of work. Bitcoin employs a proof-of-work consensus mechanism where miners compete to find a valid ordering of Bitcoin transactions that can be added to the Bitcoin blockchain. This process is energy-intensive, but ensures a high degree of decentralization and security and makes the network resistant to censorship and attacks. The energy consumed in PoW serves as Bitcoin's security budget. Ripple is a consensus protocol. XRP uses a federated consensus algorithm where a limited set of validators, many chosen by Ripple Labs itself, agree on the state of the ledger every 3 to 5 seconds. The design uses very little energy and is fast, but this comes at the cost of being permissioned, which makes XRP vulnerable to regulatory capture, state control and censorship. The supply comparisons between Ripple and Bitcoin. Bitcoin's supply schedule is hard-coded to a maximum of 21 million coins. The number of Bitcoins entering the economy is cut in half approximately every 4 years, a process known as halving. Conversely, XRP's entire supply of 100 billion tokens was minted when the project launched. Ripple Labs placed a significant portion of these tokens in escrow, releasing them periodically to fund operations. The exact schedule and quantity of these releases can vary, leading to unpredictability in XRP's circulating supply. This contrasts with Bitcoin's transparent and immutable supply schedule, introducing an element of uncertainty for XRP holders regarding future supply dynamics. Now let's discuss the transaction speed and fees between Ripple and Bitcoin. Bitcoin's average block interval is about 10 minutes. Fees float with demand, occasionally rising during peak activity, an intentional trade-off in favor of security and decentralization. XRP typically settles transactions in there to 5 seconds at the cost of fractions of a cent. These efficiencies are enabled by its validator model rather than global proof-of-work consensus, at the cost of decentralization and security. Let's discuss decentralization and control of Ripple and Bitcoin. In March 2022, Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen collaborated with Greenpeace USA to launch the Change the Code, Not the Climate campaign, bankrolling a $5 million ad push to persuade the public that Bitcoin's PoW consensus mechanism poses a threat to planet Earth. This effort drew criticism from those who understand that proof of work is essential for permissionless digital money, and can in fact be seen as a green technology. Thousands of independent nodes enforce Bitcoin's rules worldwide, and anyone can join or mine, making governance diffuse and censorship resistance strong. XRP validation is narrower. The unique node list, maintained by Ripple Labs heavily influences who can write to the ledger. Centralized control and potential state capture remain continual concerns. Bitcoin's architecture has never been successfully attacked at scale. For this and other reasons, regulators generally classify it as a digital commodity rather than a security, though its regulatory status varies across jurisdictions. In contrast, Ripple spent more than 4 years embroiled in an SEC lawsuit alleging unregistered securities sales. In March 2025, Ripple agreed to settle the lawsuit by paying a reduced fine of $50 million, down from the initially imposed $125 million. Let's talk about missing blocks in XRP's ledger. An important issue concerning the XRP ledger, XRPL, is the absence of its initial 32,000 blocks. This gap originated from a mishap in 2012, during the ledger's early days, resulting in the loss of ledgers 1 through 32,000. The earliest ledger currently accessible is number 32,000. Ripple's chief technology officer, David Schwartz, says that this loss was caused by a server bug. While the XRPL continues to function effectively despite this missing history, the absence raises concerns about the completeness and transparency of its transaction record. Ripple's Change the Code campaign and ESG considerations. In March 2022, Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen collaborated with Greenpeace USA to launch the Change the Code, Not the Climate campaign, bankrolling a $5 million ad push to persuade the public that Bitcoin's POW consensus mechanism poses a threat to planet Earth. This effort drew criticism from those who understand that proof of work is essential for permissionless digital money, and can in fact be seen as a green technology. Adoption and market position of Ripple and Bitcoin. The adoption trajectories of Bitcoin and XRP have diverged, reflecting their distinct market positions and use cases.